Hey everyone, I'm back with Miss Daniel and we are about to start our second coaching video. I'm just going to start with a quick review of what we did the last time. So the last time we met, we kind of talked through some goals. We talked about your group of boys. You talked about wanting to incorporate more movement into your sessions, maybe a little bit more technology. And we kind of made a loose plan of kind of where we were going to go with that. And I know across the last couple of weeks, you spent a lot of time thinking and planning and kind of looking into some options that we talked about for movement. So I just wanted to meet together again today to kind of go through how you're going to implement that into your sessions and make sure that you feel comfortable and that you are ready to just jump in and give it a try with the boys. So one thing that I did different this week is I decided to make you a checklist. And so last time we talked, I know we had mentioned Boom Learning, using the smartboard, trying to get the kids up and moving. You had talked about a scavenger hunt. So I based this checklist kind of off of the Boom Learning idea. So I know here I made it kind of short and sweet. We'll kind of go through this together. So the first thing you would need if you wanted to use Boom Learning, of course, is a Google account. Do you have a Google account through school?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So you could just use that.
Yes.
Something about Boom Learning is that you can have a free account. It doesn't organize anything or keep track of your data, but it's free and you have access to everything, which is great. Do you already have a Boom Learning subscription or no?
I have the free account.
Perfect. That's what I have too. Now, I know we talked about wanting to kind of use a topic or a theme for each week. We talked a little bit because we're approaching Thanksgiving. I know that your boys really like games. Can you tell me a little bit about what your topic or theme is going to be kind of going into this activity?
Yes. So I know last time we did talk about potentially doing a scavenger hunt.
Yes.
And the more I thought of it, the harder it became to figure out where we could actually do the scavenger hunt.
That's fair. We have a little bit limited mobility throughout the school right now. That's fair.
Right. In our room, we have multiple therapists, as you know, working with multiple groups at the same time.
Yes.
So I ended up scrapping the scavenger hunt idea.
Okay.
And basically now our theme is Jeopardy.
Oh, I love it. So you decided to go the game show route.
Yes.
I love that. I think that'll be great. How are you going to get them up and moving with that? Are they going to be in their seats?
So I'm gonna place the 4 students in front of our large smartboard, and they'll be like true game show contestants. So when it's their turn to answer a question, they're gonna run up to the board, touch their question, answer it, and run back. What I'm gonna try to have them do so that they don't, their attention doesn't wane as the next person tries to answer a question. I'm gonna give each of them whiteboards, and they're gonna tally their scores so they can keep up with how many points they've earned.
I think that's wonderful. I think that's a great way to kind of keep them engaged while the other kids are taking their turn. And I think it's a great way for them to kind of just be a little bit competitive with it too. So perfect. So we already have our topic and our theme established. You're going to do the Jeopardy idea. Do you have access right now, that's our next thing on the checklist, to a room that has a smart board, or do you have an iPad that you can use?
Yes, to both.
Perfect. So you have the technology you need. In terms of your group, I know there's a lot of diversity within it. I know some kids are working on language, some kids are working on articulation. When you were going through this activity, did you find it was something that you can incorporate everybody's goals for, or is it just heavy on one or the other?
I was able to do both.
Perfect.
So 3 out of our 4 students are articulation.
Right.
And then our 1 is language. And so what I've done is, luckily, the 3 articulation students are working on essentially the same sound or a very similar sound. So I've grouped together 2 sounds so that it'll cross all boundaries for our 3 friends. So they'll target R and TH, and then my language friend, he will have questions specifically dedicated to short social scenarios where he has to identify the problem and provide me a solution.
Wonderful. And in terms of movement and technology, so it hits all the goals you need for the boys, and it sounds like it's going to incorporate movement and technology perfectly, pairing them kind of getting up and going to and from the smartboard, letting them keep those tallies on their whiteboards. I think you've hit it. So I just had those 6 things on our checklist as kind of like to guide you. I just wanted to make sure, is there anything that you feel about this checklist that needs modified to better meet your needs?
No, I think everything looks good, and I think at this point it'll just be, let's actually see it in action and see what happens.
Pardon me. I think you kind of went about planning with this checklist in advance. We kind of did things the opposite direction that we maybe should have. You started with a checklist and then kind of planned around it, and you did a great job with it. So we don't need to make any changes. Next, let's kind of talk about a time where I can come in and help you and kind of even serve as your students, or I could serve as you and you can serve as a student to kind of give this a dry run, kind of model it together and see if there's anything that pops up. Is there a date or a time that might work for you? Is the morning better? Is the afternoon better?
This group comes in the morning.
Okay, perfect. So if they're a morning group, are they every day?
No, they are Monday, Wednesday.
They're Monday, Wednesday. So today is Friday. Why don't first thing Monday morning we get together, we kind of dry run through this, see if there's anything we need to tweak. I think it's always a good idea when you're working with technology anyway to kind of give it a dry run to make sure all of your links work, your power's on. You know, school sometimes loses access and loses internet connection and loses power. So we can give that a dry run through together. Perfect. And then if we do that Monday morning, then you can go right ahead, and if everything is a go and we don't have to modify anything, which you've really thought through everything, so I don't think that you necessarily will, but you just never know until you're kind of in it.
Sure.
If everything goes well, then you can implement it right on Monday. Now, is this an activity that you're going to be able to carry over across multiple weeks or multiple sessions?
It just depends on how quickly we get through the material, because they'll have multiple questions in various categories. So our articulation friends will be working on their sounds in the middle, in the initial, medial, final positions, and then there's a mixed category. And then same thing for our friend, we have small versus medium and large problems.
Perfect. And is this something that you think you can revisit and use multiple times across the rest of the year, or is this a one and done?
I assume we'll probably be able to use it multiple times, even with multiple groups. So
I think so too. I think this, especially with it being Jeopardy, and I think as they get better at it, maybe you can even incorporate having one of them be the host.
Yep.
There are a lot of endless options for this, and I absolutely love it. So perfect. I'll meet with you on Monday morning. We will go through. I think that hits the movement in technology. It hits their goals. We know we're going to have a room that has access to a smart board. We have the iPad as backup. You've got your theme established. We've got your account created to access the Jeopardy. I think we're good to go.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
No problem.
Have a good one.